lived in a very tiny cabin. See, tight and cozy. With 2 adults and 3 children, the Hoovers did not have much room for furnishings. And they even had less room in the winter when they brought the wood stove inside for the summer.
Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today, well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow.
Hi, welcome everybody. We're at another library.
In Iowa.
So we're at the Herbert Hoover Presidential Library and Museum, and it's a historical site. So on here there's like his birth house and things like that. So we'll get quite a bit for you to see today. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Exciting.
Yeah, let's
Ready to
go. Come on. So there's a map here to kind of help get you situated, because when you first pull up to go in, it directs you to go to another place for his house and everything, but it's all in this one location. You just have to kind of walk around to it. So there's a map of it, and you can kind of see the layout. So we're going to make our way around. We're going to start here at the library though, because that's where we parked right by. So come along with us.
Good morning.
Hi there, how are you today?
Not too bad about yourself.
Doing good.
Herbert Clark Hoover, 31st President of the United States, is coming home. Long linked with the tragedy of the Great Depression, Hoover is now remembered as a statesman and humanitarian with a noble vision for his country. Today, he will be laid to rest on a hill overlooking the town where his life began. West Branch, Iowa, in the 1870s, a frontier settlement with the promise of America at its doorstep. Voters loved his can-do attitude. November, they elect him in a Republican landslide. I have no fear for the future of my country, he says. It is bright with hope. Yet within 8 months of his inauguration, Hoover's worst fears are confirmed. In October of 1929, the New York stock market collapses. Country of Europe, Hoover the humanitarian returns. Call back, he says, like a trusted family doctor. He oversees the massive relief efforts, visiting 38 countries in a race against time and fame. At the age of 72, Herbert Hoover is once again a living symbol of American generosity. For Hoover, the wilderness years are over. The years of acknowledgement have begun.
In 2 wars, I served amidst a famine, and in the war, shattered aftermath, I directed reconstruction in many nations. Uppermost in the minds of plain people everywhere was that war should cease and that peace would come to the world. We learned that his parents died when he was young and he was orphaned and sent to Oregon to live with his aunt and uncle. He went to school in Stanford, and that's where he met his wife. And when he decided to become an engineer, he bought this suit and set off for Australia and eventually China. He took Lou with him to China. His first jobs were in mining. He was an engineer in the mining, and that's where he made his fortune. He traveled the globe and helped various companies with mining operations. This case is in honor of their marriage, and the scroll is a shawl that Herbert gave her as a wedding gift, and it has the announcement, the engagement ring, some really great keepsakes that they've saved. And here's a little take on when he went to China, and that's right after he married Lou and brought her with him. And it was a turbulent time in China, but she was a strong woman. Learned that Herbert Hoover was a great humanitarian. He helped feed the children before, during, and after the war, even to help even in Russia to help feed those children. The first television broadcast, 1927. The first television. Got some of the equipment here to kind of show how it transmitted. It's kind of cool to see this history right here in front of us. Here's the phone line on the other end. The roaring 20s. This was during his lifetime. Some of the things that were happening. Some of the famous people, Charlie Chaplin, Mickey Mouse with Steamboat Willie. Some of the Hollywood things that came out, and some of the heroes, Amelia Earhart. Washing machine came out. And the new Frigidaire automatic refrigerator. It was a time of all kind of inventions. See a lot of these. It's quite funny because my grandmother had a lot of these inventions in her house. It's neat to see them in a museum. Just kind of his job when he was Secretary of Commerce. They called him Secretary of Everything. He dealt with a lot of issues and things that were up and coming during that time period. So this just kind of depicts a lot of that. And because he was an orphan, he had a lot of feelings for children and the children's health. So he helped to create the Children's Bill of Rights. So that was very helpful for mothers to be and for young children. Radio was such a way of life for that time frame. So you can see a little thing of him on the radio. And next, the Hoover Dam. So on June 25th, 1929, President Hoover signed $165 million Boulder Canyon Project Act. So it was a personal dream of his to get this dam built. And so you can see kind of that if you've never been to the Hoover Dam, it's quite an amazing creation that they made there. You can kind of see at Boulder Dam site. And then the Black Canyon. Every president has their thing that happens, it seems, right? His was the stock crash of 1929. He knew it was going to happen before it happened. You know, he predicted it years before he became president. And no one would listen, and so then it happened, and then he got blamed for everything thereafter. We found one of his favorite pastimes was fishing, so they have a little model of him fishing here. You can even hear the bugs and other things. And then there's a little bit about his death and his funeral. We're over by the gravesite now. He died just 7 days before Earl was born, at the age of 90. So we're going to walk up and check out his grave. Their grave sites are very simplistic because of the Quaker faith. So it doesn't even have the presidential seal on it. You can hear the chimes going at the church or by the presidential library. The birthplace of Herbert Hoover, first president of the United States, born west of the Mississippi River. So we're going to go walk around some of the houses they have restored and brought here. Check it out. This was a steal right here. Amanda Garvin bought this house in 1870 for $90. This is a replica of his dad's shop. His dad was a blacksmith, and his company helped design a mower that they used, that we kind of got a video of from the museum. So very talented. He died when Herbert was young. A little schoolhouse. Very cool. Learning their ABCs. So the Quakers really believed in strong education, educating both girls and boys equally. The bathroom out here, the outhouse. Anybody gotta go? We're gonna go into the cottage where he was born. So that's where we're headed in. Just see what we can see. The kitchen. Let's look at the kitchen. Well, that's kind of tiny right there. Really cool stuff in there, though. Lived in a very tiny cabin. See, tight and cozy. With 2 adults and 3 children, the Hoovers did not have much room for furnishings. And they even had less room in the winter when they brought the wood stove inside for the summer. In the summer kitchen on the back porch. So it made it even tighter in here. Here's a picture when they would bring that in. And it's a 1-bedroom. This has a trundle bed and the crib. They all slept in one room. It's a really old sewing machine. Very tight quarters. Oh, and the chamber pot. In case you need to go in the middle of the night. The birthplace cottage. This is where he was born. Right here in this cottage. It has J.C. Hoover on it because that's his father was Jesse. Herbert grew up alongside this creek. He fished and did all kind of things right here, played in the water. It's very cool that they've preserved it the way they have. Here is the meeting house. Kind of like what the people call church. It's where the Quakers met for religious ceremonies and whatnot. So it's separated. There's a partition. The walls come down. And one side's for the women and one side's for the men. So they were separated during their church service. Here's the cry room.
We'll go in here and cry.
I think there's a restroom in there, like an outhouse. I don't know. Our outhouse at my grandpa's house looked like that. It had a board on top of it. So it looks familiar to me. All right, we just toured the Herbert Hoover Museum and Library, and then we went through his little town. What'd you think?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We're standing right here in front of the little cabin that he was born in.
Yeah, he was born here. They preserved it.
So,
And some other houses that are along here they preserved and kept all in one place.
yeah. I also went up to his burial site. And
Yeah, that was really neat.
pretty neat. You can walk around the entire place. So.
Yeah, it's a whole walking tour. So you can park your car in one place and just walk everywhere. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, get a little exercise, enjoy this beautiful sunshine.
And bugs.
And the bugs love Earl lately.
I don't know what it is. Ever since we've gotten here, these bugs been bugging me. I swear I took a shower.
He swallowed one day, though, and I think they're all mad at him for swallowing that bug. If you were on our live in Ohio.
Yep.
All right. Well, we just appreciate you coming along with us. And you go out and find your adventure.